They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're exhausted, we haven't slept in years. Hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death, go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we're truly love our heroes. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane. Hi everybody, how are you? Look at us, we're out! We're out of the house doing things! How great is it?
I feel exposed.
I feel naked. This is awesome. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting us. This is pretty cool. I've had such a great time. Everyone's rolled out the red carpet and it has been super fun. Are you guys excited to have a night out?
Better question. Are we excited to have a night out without our children?
Yeah!
These are our people, Mr. Kaler.
This is the bonus because honestly, just getting out of my house for the weekend, that was really the best thing that's ever happened. So thank you for dragging me out here. I really appreciate it. All right.
Anyway, my name is Gowin. I just want to get this out of the way right off the bat. Contrary to popular belief, I am not the little boy from the movie Up. Truth be told, I really only grew the goatee because I was tired of looking like a giant baby. I actually grew it because I wanted to look like Iron Man, and I ended up just looking like Super Mario. Or maybe if Iron Man just gave up one day and sat on his couch eating cookie dough. That's where I am. So anyway, I am the father of three boys.
Sorry, man, that's my thought.
No, it's a bit fun, I get it.
3 young kids, it's great.
3 boys, which basically means my wife will not know the luxury of a clean toilet seat for the next 14 years. And hey, my wife is a wonderful woman, but when I talk to her about the kids, she'll say, oh, they're wonderful. Hey, they're a handful, but they're wonderful. And that's a little different than the way I see them, which is basically like, they're basically feral. They're like 3 tiny angry raccoons with Tourette syndrome. I mean, is it just me or just a little weird that you can't go out to dinner while you're sitting quietly and all of a sudden this human being sitting next to you goes full Tasmanian devil? And I'm concerned all 3 of my kids have brain damage, but I have their fun. I think you're up.
Why don't I have 3 girls in the house, my wife and my 2 daughters, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I sit down when I pee.
You do?
Not in public places, I'm not a lunatic, like in a restroom somewhere, but at my own house, yes. I walk in and I sit down. Does any other guys? Am I the only?
I do too. That's why I was so curious.
That's how much I care about women. I care about you so much that I've given up my masculinity and I sit down to pee. And I'm also lazy. That's why most of the time. I mean, all you guys know when you're standing there, you're like, I'm always like, why don't I sit down? If they had a place where you could lay down, I would do that and just lay and let stuff come out of me. I feel like that.
Here's a mess back.
You know what? I think we're on to something. We gotta get to who designs toilets. There should just be a lay down toilet.
Anybody got a toilet guy?
No.
I was on a show that none of you ever saw. That was great. Gaffigan was on it. He won't be there tonight. He's not here. He won't be here. And then I did another show. Oh, you're the guy.
Yeah, I got it.
That guy. Did anyone see that? It's on Discovery Plus. Yeah. All right. I knew. Tom, great to see you again. I missed you. And I was living a life. I was like, deep into my 40s. I had a bank full of money. I ate out every night, slept in every morning. I saw movies on the day they opened, and I thought to myself, how can I put a stop to this? I was living this lifestyle right here. Yeah.
Is that the same shirt?
Actually, that is the same shirt. That's you. That is the same shirt again. That is the same shirt.
Was this all today?
No, that is spread out over like 15 years. That is about 15 years difference. Those are my two little girls who look like that. And then now they look like this.
Question?
Yeah.
Do you sleep with your door locked?
Bolted. I have a deadbolt on my door at night. Honestly, most of the nights I don't even sleep because terrifying, right? But everyone who has kids here? Who doesn't have kids? Just you?
Feel good about your life choices.
That's right. This show's dedicated to everybody else, but you men sit back and feel great about your life choices. There's no two ways about that. And by the way, you go fire it up and start drinking heavily. So I made some terrible choices, and it's weird. I have my daughter. I'm 50 years older than my daughter. She was born when I was 50. Yeah, right? Seemed okay at the time. It was a terrible choice. Having kids at my age is kind of like getting a DUI just as you pull into your driveway. Officer, I thought I was home. No, Jamie, you're not home. You're under arrest, and now your punishment is bankruptcy, and you're going to be tired for the rest of your life. That sounds awful. Yeah, it's crazy. I think if they wanted people my age to have kids, they would make the directions on children's medicine in a much larger font. Can't be just me, right? Middle of the night, I got readers, a magnifying glass, a flashlight, the kid's got an earache. I'm not even sure the thing's in English. I'm like, but it comes with a little cup. They put the cup on top. So I just fill that and then spend the rest of the night checking to make sure she's breathing. That's how I learned. Here's how old I am. The other night I was watching Lethal Weapon. Anyone know the movie? Right? Danny Glover's character, Sergeant Murtaugh, he is retiring from his lifelong career. And he keeps saying, I'm too old for this, blank. I'm 6 years older than him. Just so we're on the same page. You what? You don't?
No, I don't feel bad for you at all.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. I'm sure everyone was wondering how you care, about how you thought. We'll go around after this. It's about a 12-hour show. What's going to happen is we're going to go to each of you individually on every joke, and what we'd love you to do is just, break it down and let us know how you feel about it, all of it, piece by piece. And then tomorrow we'll read your blog, and we'll watch your vlog, and we'll see you on Twitch.
You fathered a baby.
You what?
You fathered a baby.
Allegedly.
True. Well, I'm going on Jerry Springer in a couple weeks. We'll see how it breaks down. I don't know yet. The test hasn't come in. And the test is, did you see the two gingers? They're mine. I wish I could feign it. It's not. And by the way, I love that you say you fathered a baby. The name of the show is called The Parents Lounge, but good for you. Quick, very quick. I worry about, did you have children?
I've had 3.
You had 3?
Yes.
Okay.
2 college graduates.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's just sit down and chat with what you do. Everybody, please, she's got to get some stuff. We're 3 minutes into the show, we already have 2 crazy hecklers in the audience. I got news for you. I've told my jokes a lot of times. You know what I'd really rather do? Just sit and destroy you for about 30 minutes. Right? You're on board. I've heard my jokes. I don't need to hear them. But to you.
I've been a bartender for 25 years.
You've been a bartender for 25 years.
Make sure she gets a cookie on the way out.
Game's on.
Game's on? I don't think so. Come on. Are you gonna be quiet at all? You'll be quiet. You'll play along for a bit. Let's get you a glass of wine. Let me bartend for you once. Well, a glass of wine on us. James don't pay for that. Can't fair? What? Listen again, but we're all so yeah, you know, this we're all out of the house, away from our kids. Just have fun. I don't feel like at my age I'm supposed to be in my cutting the crust off of sandwiches phase of life. I'm supposed to be in my, hey, what's on 60 Minutes this week phase. That's what I'm supposed to be wondering. You know, like maybe a reverse mortgage is right for me. I don't know. And why can't they make a less painful catheter? Seems like an easy fix. We're sending people to space. Maybe we should solve the catheter problem and then start going to Mars. I don't. Before the pandemic happened, I thought I was going to be more like my father when I had my kids, but if the quarantine from watching my kids for 18 months taught me anything, I became exactly like my mother. Because one morning I woke up and the first thought in my head was, I need to cook this chicken before it goes bad. Then I threw my back out vacuuming. What I'm saying is that Mr. Mom is not a comedy. It's a horror film. Watch it again. It's terrifying. Did you get the wine?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Cheers. We're out of the house.
Have a nice night.
That's something you say as you're leaving. I'm so confused. That's awesome. We're excited to see you. I mean, I flew into Buffalo and drove here at 1 o'clock in the morning to see you.
I heard about you.
Oh, Jesus. Did we sleep together? One of those kids mine? Is this the way you're breaking it to me? Holy cow, Jason. I need my lawyer. Where's my lawyer? I need my lawyer on the phone now. That's happened to me before. Not moms, but like ex-girlfriends showed up at shows before that. I was like, oh.
It was your last night production.
What?
It was the production of last night that brought me here tonight.
Oh, I love that.
Well, thank you.
Fantastic. Can I sit and drink for a second? Would you like to take the reins of this train wreck for 30 minutes?
Sure, yeah. So, he has 2 gingers, and I felt really good about life before children 2 and 3 came along. In fact, I honestly thought life was almost perfect. And I hesitate to use that word, but it was almost perfect. And when God looked down at me from heaven above and he thought, you know, he's getting pretty cocky. Thinks he's some kind of rock star father because he just managed to keep the oldest one alive for 3 years. He gave it water, he fed it, he put some clothes on it, he diapered it badly, but he got it done. So I feel like we're going to send him a challenge. So God wound up through the pitch, and I got a biological twofer. I got a buy one, get one free pregnancy. I got the deluxe Sam's Club size of pregnancies. I got 2. My wife had twins. Twin boys.
It's terrible.
Twin identical boys. And the funny thing about twins that nobody tells you is that when the egg splits, so does the soul. Each kid just gets half. And in the case of the youngest one who emerged from the birth canal second, it's like 12%. It's like 12%. There's a darkness there. I'm afraid of it. I'm literally afraid of it. And so I was very hands-on with the birth from the very beginning. I went to every appointment, every ultrasound, every single thing I went to. And I remember the very first time we went to the ultrasound, and the tech got out the thing that looks like a Walmart scanner. And he put the blue gel on her, and I thought it looked delicious, so I tasted it. Don't. It's terrible. It's not at all like I thought it was going to be. So he brings the things up on the scanner, and he shows us this the actual photo. And my wife takes my hand and she says, oh, Jason, aren't they just beautiful? what kind of drugs are you taking? Because when I look at this, I don't see a thing of beauty, I see a thing of horror. It's like at the end of the movie when E.T. gets sick and he's laying in the creek bed, he's all white and gross. He doesn't really have eyes. And then he moves it a little bit more, and there's like this weird floppy airplane wing coming out of the side of his head. And I look at the doctor, I'm like, does he have a dorsal fin? Is he part dolphin? Like, do I need to have a talk with my wife about the time we went to SeaWorld and she disappeared for a little bit? And I was ready to say, no, it's just the way the scanner is. I'm like, is that going to fall off before he comes out? And here's the thing about twins that nobody tells you, they actually have their own language. Anybody here have twins? Anybody? You do? Twin boys, twin girls? Oh, that's a party. We have the twin boys, and it's something. Did your kids have? Did they not have a language that they did? No, it's so funny because it's something like between 40 and 50% of all twins have this. And I'll tell you what, in the middle of the night when it's dark and you hear them doing that back and forth to each other, it's terrifying. They sound like minions. And I've tried to get it on tape, and they literally will stop. And I know it's because they don't want me to take it to like the FBI or language specialist and decode what they're saying. The whole plan to kill me is going out the window. And so anyway, we have to do this thing called a tandem or tag team diaper change. Because with twins, you can't leave one child unattended for even 5 seconds because the little asshat will get involved in the situation. So my wife and I each take it. But if you do leave the child alone, like the other one, he comes sauntering in like this Mount chimpanzee. And he'll grab the diaper and he walks off like it's some kind of cool trophy. And if you don't catch him within like the first 10 seconds, he makes it into his own little diaper street taco. Yeah, not good. And if you keep getting it away from them, man, try brushing their teeth after they've had the street taco. So on this particular day, how many of you are just boy moms? And you just all boy? Oh, a lot of you. So you're gonna know all about this. So on this particular day during the diaper change, my twin sons discovered that they are in fact boys. Boys with boy parts. Boy parts that you can handle. And they began handling them a whole lot. And at first it was very joyful, like they were eating bread. And it was like, and my wife looks at them, what are they doing? They're making pizza, you know. And then it turned really angry. And it became more like dueling banjos. And at that point I look over and my wife's like, oh God, make them stop! Okay, let me just tell you something. I've seen animal attack videos on YouTube. There's no way I'm sticking my hand anywhere near down there. No. And I'm going to be honest, they put my freshman year of college to shame. And they... Yeah, it was not good. It was not a good situation. I'm not okay.
Did they do the donkey? That's how it goes, right, guys?
You don't even make it home.
Remember when you had like your first serious girlfriend where you felt totally comfortable with each other? The donkey slide? Is that too far? You know that first time you have a girlfriend and you're like, really, God, you know what I'm talking. Just say yes.
Yes.
Know about it? It's like if the chubby checkers the twist. And the girl's like, I see that, I got it. Do you do the hook? You hold the towel? No? I went too far too early.
I can do a washcloth, maybe.
You do the washcloth?
here's the
You were probably doing the Buffalo Bill. Did you do the Buffalo Bill?
well, here's the thing,
No, this show already went off the rails. This is not in the script, by the way.
well, here's the thing,
You're talking about her. Oh, I don't remember her. Nobody? Okay.
well, here's the thing, like,
Why is there a puppet on the stage? What? I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, okay, all right.
Jay, that's really racist. They prefer women American.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I don't want to get canceled. I don't want to get canceled. The donkey slap didn't get me canceled. I don't think puppets got me canceled. My daughter was in diapers too. She was I didn't know it, but I guess she potty trained a little late. Because we were at the park and her friend Sia came running over to her, which out of the clear blue Hannah was like, "Hey, Sia," and Sia went, "I'm totally potty trained." Weird brag. I hate this generation. My time, that was his potty stuff. You kept it to yourself. She probably put it on her Instagram and kind of like, hashtag potty trained, hashtag sponsored, hashtag Charmin. So she comes running over, and my daughter is a pathological liar, which every child is a pathological liar, apparently, because as Sia came over, my daughter was like, "I'm totally potty trained too," which would have been cool and nobody would have known, but she's wearing a giant diaper in the park. And I see her, looks at her, looks down at the diaper, looks back at her, looks at me, looks at her, and I see the gears turning. I'm like, "Sia, just let it go, man. Let's go Frozen on this and just let it go." But Sia doesn't let it go. She calls her out. She goes, "If you're so potty trained, how come you're wearing a diaper?" And I love my daughter so much because she looked at Sia, looked at me, looked down at the diaper, looked back up at me and went, "Who put this diaper on me?" Absolutely true. I love that you kid. Sometimes does your kid ever just come in and they're not wearing the diaper? And then you're like, "Where's that diaper?" And then for like 2 hours you're like, let's find that. Where'd you put the diaper?
There's a shelf life on that too. You've got a certain amount of time before that goes bad.
Oh, dude, you are, speaking of lethal weapon, the clock is ticking down and you're cutting blue, red, you don't know what to cut anymore, and then all of a sudden, diaper disaster happens, yeah. One time I was watching a football game and my daughter was on my lap, and all of a sudden I just felt warm, hot fudge. Like somebody had poured a hot fudge sundae on me, and I was like, "What is that?" And I looked down and she's laughing, and it was like a volcano, just slowly pouring down over the side. And I was like, great. I'm glad my wife spent way too much money on this leather couch. That was a terrible decision. How, did you guys get, you all quarantined, right? For, during the pandemic, were you guys quarantined? Did you homeschool? Yeah? How was it? It was pretty bad, right? I don't want to brag, but was anybody else productive and got something done during the time? Like everyone was like, "I'm gonna write a book, I'm gonna do this." No? You guys, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Everybody got a dog. I went back to school, which was great. I studied actually a double major of kindergarten and second grade. Anybody else? Get a chance to go back and redo grammar school? Super fun. Not at all. I actually, the teachers gave me a degree in pain management at the end. There was no diploma, but I got a serious lesson in managing pain. And that lesson is, of course, alcohol. Anybody else? Oh, yeah. Every day during the pandemic. How many people? Every day.
Every day.
Every single day of the pandemic, I drank. Is that? Every day. Every day.
Every day.
Every
It
day.
got so bad for me that I actually would get the big bags of wine that look like a giant Capri Sun, and I had it like an IV.
A wine bum. That's called a wine bum. I just every day after getting the kids up, making meals and starting their day and getting them, I printed out schedules. I had this whole thing. By like 5 o'clock, I was making dinner and I was like, "Well, it's time. Let's start drinking." I would have to put the kids to bed at like 6:15. They go, it's too early. And they said, "Daddy's too drunk. You got to go to bed." Because I got to go to bed, and you can't stay later than me because you're 6 years old, and you'll burn the house down. I don't know what's happening. One good thing about the pandemic: no drinking and driving, right? Or we should just say no driving, because there was drinking, like Bukowski meets Hemingway levels of alcohol intake. But the great thing during the pandemic, we were always just stumbling distance from our bed, which was cool. Most of the time in the living room, a couple times garage, and then that one time a couple houses down in the front yard. But that's a whole other thing at all. Did anyone have to homeschool their kids? You can talk. I love it when I ask you questions, you won't talk, and then when I start talking, somebody has a conversation all over the place. You can talk to us.
It's so hard to forget.
It's what?
We've tried so hard to forget.
That's fair.
I had to go back and kind of go through some photos to remember what happened, because people would go, during the whole thing, they go, how you doing? Survive and advance, man. That was my slogan. Like, if I can get through today, let's see how tomorrow goes. Was everybody else? That was, yeah. What reminded me though is that, do you remember before this whole thing happened, when you met that one person who decided just of their own volition, no gun to their head, to homeschool their own kids? Does anyone know those people? Back then we used to go, yeah, that sounds cool. Now we know that person's criminally insane. They should lose their children to social services. You just pick the kid up. I don't care if you give it to a homeless guy who lives under an overpass. Better than some crazy person who's like, yeah, I got this. No, you don't, man. There's great teachers, underpaid, who should be better paid and teach our children, right? How many teachers are in here? Good. I love teachers now. I didn't used to love them. But now I'm like, when I drop my kids up now, I'm like, I love you so much, thank you. Thank you so much. I love you, thank you. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Thank you for taking special. They were old. It's crazy. I was a rush to get our kids through school. Why didn't we just stop and just go play red light, green light and go, that's it. Take the year off. Here's your iPad. We'll see you in a year. Why didn't we just do that? Watch some Bluey, right?
Yeah. It was on like 10 hours a day at our house.
That's our babysitter, Bluey. Do you know Bluey? It's a very cheap babysitting service. You go to a bar, you can leave the house for like 4 hours and just come back and the kid would still be just do you not know Bluey? With the Australian accent? Well, you guys, you're not letting your kids watch, you're getting high and watching it. I know. I see, you're like, hey man, Bluey's really great. I'm learning life lessons, this is on. I don't know what the rush was. These kids are going to live to be 100 that are being born today, and they are being rushed through school. It's like when some guy graduates college in 3 years. You know, like they graduate school and then they brag about it. I finished in 3 years. Why? So you're going to work for the rest of your life? This is college, dude, you missed the point. If it's too easy, take a bowling elective. Get drunk, try to touch bathing suit parts, learn some social skills, don't be an idiot. Get super high and line up the Wizard of Oz with Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. That's a seminal point. You guys know that. It's crazy to me. And then the worst is when they rush some 12-year-old kid who's like at Harvard. You see him on 60 Minutes, you know those kids, geniuses?
Like Doogie Howser.
Doogie Howser, exactly, right? And they go, Jamie, we didn't want to hold him back. You know, he's too smart, we just didn't want to keep him back. From what? Not having sex till he's 30? Because that's what's going to happen. You know, what are you doing here, man? It's like, we should have just stopped everything. And here's the deal, when those kids, by the way, those kids who were like 12 years old going to Harvard, we gotta stop that. The same way, here's what problem. You know what we don't need? We don't need another Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates. There's not much money left for us. They have all of it. We don't need one more genius to create an app, some evil Bond villain, right, who's like cloning himself on an island in South America. We don't need one more of those guys. We need somebody to work at Applebee's. That's what we really need. And you know what I'm talking about. Is that how you work at Applebee's? I love Applebee's. Coming in for
It's a delightful steak bowl.
I don't know, it's pretty good. Here's what they should do. Anytime a kid's a genius, the same way, you know when you count time your kid falls back and they're a little stupid? You know the stupid kids, what do? They tutor that kid so that kid can go back up to the pack, right? Anytime one kid is a genius and pops out from the pack, what should we do? Push him right back down. Keep them all in the pack! He's too smart, Jamie. Get him high. That'll slow him down. You'll see some B's start to creep in. You're kidding? He gets high all the time. He's got perfect SAT scores. Have one of the teachers sleep with him. That'll stop him dead in his tracks. He'll be like 35 years old. One of his buddies were like, what? weren't you a super genius? He's like, I know. I got really high and banged Mrs. Anderson, and now I install carpet for a living. Which, by the way, is a fantastic job. We need people to install carpet. We don't need another app online. Got a little hair of the dog. Last night was really fun, by the way. God, we have had, by the way, I love this place. This place is awesome. You guys rock. Everyone has rolled out the red carpet today. We went over to the fair.
Well, yeah, Fall Fest.
We went to Fall Fest.
Yeah.
About some crystals for healing. About some healing crystals.
He's not going. I thought it was a weird choice, but it's also a weird flex on stage, but
Yeah, that's some patchouli.
he sits the pink.
How many guys sit to pee in their own house? Really? You're gonna leave me
They're
here?
not going to tell you that. But they do.
Why don't you just stand up? Makes no sense to me.
I know my wife would appreciate it.
I'm all about comfort. I'm all about it. And I'm all about scotch, apparently. How you guys doing over there? What's happening? I can almost hear every word you're saying. Almost.
You feel
No,
good?
you don't.
I feel great, actually. Yeah, I feel pretty good. What'd she say?
I'm not even sure where I am anymore.
Where are we?
What?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what we do? You know what? Here's the problem.
What?
Here's the problem with our show.
I can think of one problem with it.
Well, there's one major problem. There's one part of the parent portion that's being underrepresented in our show.
Fathers!
There you go.
Boo, you got it. Good for you. And a 50-50 shot. Knock it out of the park. Ew. Hey, we might have to get you high and have you sleep with a teacher. Push you right back down. Slow down there, kid. I think we should, here's what we need. We need a mom to kind of help us, just a mom of approval, we'll call it, instead of a nod of approval. We'll look at her after bits and she'll either go, don't ever do that bit again. Or she'll go, yeah, you're right.
Let me see here. Where's a mom I can talk to? Yeah, I'm going down.
Are you hiding? First I thought it was a mask, but then I realized it's your sweatshirt you pulled up over your face. The price is right! You can win what's behind the curtain, Jason!
I got one right here. How many kids do you have?
5.
Now here's my problem. By judging them on the number of kids, is it smarter? I mean, is she smarter than the mom who only had one? I don't know at this point. I mean, no. You've made some terrible decisions. Is the father here too? Say, you know, out of all 5 of yours, or you just don't know that just every day a new one comes? You don't know what's happening. Are they all yours?
He's terrified that the 23andMe test is coming to the mail.
Hey, don't even kid around. That's really happening.
So
People are doing their genealogy and then they're coming home and going, wow, you're not my dad. That's happening. And they're catching serial killers. It's a really great system they have. Do you have some? Are you coming back?
Yeah, come on.
Is that her mom, a mom of 5?
Yeah, I'll
Does anyone else have more than 5 kids? No.
Yeah, anyone with more than 5?
No one's crazy.
Anyone who really likes to paint?
I think, honestly, I have 2. I think 2's the right number. Right? I think 2, tops. Just, it's math. Because the earth is so, it's only this size, right? We have enough people here. Simple math, replace you and your wife, 2 kids. Fine, maybe a third for spare parts, but no more than that. And you're gonna groan at that joke until one day when you're like, man, my kidney hurts. Hey, where the hell's it going down there? Dad, why is my name Organ Bank? Shut up and eat healthy.
I have one of those actually.
An organ bank?
Yeah, with twins.
I know.
They're identical, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you pick the, you know, you groom them, the one that's the best, you keep it. And the other one you just put in a freezer.
love 1 to 2 of my 3 children with all my heart.
Same. Everybody has a favorite child. They lie when they say they don't.
I tolerate the 3rd one because Pennsylvania state law says that I have to. But I'm going to be honest. I mean, I don't play favorites, but I really don't like the little one. I don't like him. There's a darkness there.
You got booed for that.
Yeah, I know, but we call him the Dark Lord. Let me just show you. Look at him. Oh, that's an act. He's off.
Listen, if Satan is going to come, he's going to look like that. That's how it works. If he's going to come in ugly, he's going to come in like a beautiful child. That's how Satan works. We know that.
Yeah. Like I said, we call him the Dark Lord. He would beat me. If I ever turn up missing, check the coal mines up on Armenian Mountain, because that's where he don't. Look at his smug little face. Smug bunny.
So gorgeous.
When I started that, I wasn't even sure I wanted kids. What I actually wanted was a pet monkey. Thank you. No, so I'm serious. And my wife and I had a discussion about it. And she made a deal publicly with witnesses, which to me makes it a legally binding contract. We're 5 years in and I've still got no damn monkey. And so the deal was that if I gave her the human child that she wanted, then I would receive the pet monkey that I wanted. And as I said, the monkey. And I really wanted the monkey. Because I was going to name him Mr. Sprinkles. And I was only going to talk to him like Mrs. Doubtfire Dear. And I was going to say to him, come on, my little overalls. And we'd break dance and I'd give him French fries and we'd double fist them all. It was going to be glorious. And here's the thing about monkeys. If I take a monkey to an upscale, really nice restaurant, and I put him in a nice tuxedo, he's looking good, and we're eating, and at some point during that meal, that monkey strips down naked, and he grabs a handful of macaroni and just slaps somebody upside the head. Nobody cares. They expect it. It's a monkey. People love it. But if I take my human child to the same restaurant, put him in the same handsome tuxedo, and my human child strips down naked and slaps somebody upside the head with macaroni, now I'm a bad parent. Things are just better with a monkey.
Everything's better with a monkey.
It really is.
Who, monkeys? You bully monkeys?
That's cool.
By the way, the worst thing about having twins is, you only get to have sex once, and then you get stuck with 2 kids. It's not fair. Like, I have 2 kids, I've had sex twice. You have 3 kids, you only had sex twice. Kind of a raw deal on your part.
It is, yeah. So, am I owed a bonus?
I'm looking over there like his wife is sitting, right?
She really is.
Oh, she is. I thought she was over there.
Let's be calm, my mom's here. Also my 6th grade English teacher.
We applaud the 6th grade teacher. Look what you created. From what I understand, Jason was a super genius when he was younger. What happened? Mrs. Anderson. You're trying to seduce me, Mrs. Anderson. Sorry, I don't want to, but you're really smart, and we'll slow you down. My daughter, Claire, we had the problem with, this is the greatest thing about being on the road, is that after the show, I just go to sleep in a hotel, and I know no one's going to wake me up. Right? How great is that? Like, does anyone, my little daughter, Claire, the 6-year-old, would come in during when we were quarantining. I was exhausted. And they come and sleep in your bed, you know when they do that? The older people are like, no, that's the best time of their life, Jamie. Right? How many people miss that? It is, it's great. But here's the problem. They choose that one day where you stayed up a little late and watched that extra episode of Narcos Mexico. You had one extra glass of wine, and then you're just barely hitting REM, and then all of a sudden, the kid's laying on your face like the dude from Alien. You're like, ah! And you're like, hey, ah! And anytime the kid's sleeping between us, if she just laid vertical, but she doesn't, she lays horizontal. She's kicking me and my wife, and she's in the middle of us. And you have that Sophie's choice, that terrible choice where you either, you just lay there and you let her, sleep. And it's like the last joke where she kicks you all night, you don't sleep at all, or you exert the energy, right? You go, okay, that's it. You get up and you pick up this 50-pound bag of wet cement, and you stumble down over Lego Village, and you know, it's toy minefield, you're stumbling for it, and then bang, you smash your head on the door, and your wife yells from the bed, what was that? Nothing? I wouldn't worry about college for this one, maybe trade school. And then you finally put her back in her bed, and then by the time you get back to your bed, like, because you can't, I would love to just put it on ESPN or something and watch for 30 seconds to calm down, but I can't because I'm sleeping in a bed with another human. So I just lay there. Horrible, right? And so we were having this problem. Claire kept doing it, and she kept coming to the bed, so I was like, finally went, I was like, Claire, you have to stop coming in our bed. She's like, Daddy, I don't want to tell you anything, but there's spiders in my bed. I go, Claire, there are no spiders in your bed. She goes, there's spiders in my bed. I'm terrified of them. It's scary. And so I take her into her room and I pull the sheet back and I go, Claire, there's no spiders in your bed. She goes, not now. We got 2 o'clock in the morning, there's a mad army of spiders that comes to get you in the middle of the day. You're telling me? She goes, that's exactly what's happening. So I said, don't do it again. She did it again. And so the next night I went and I put her to bed and I said, oh my gosh, Claire, you were right. I took your bed apart today. I found the spiders. There were millions of them. I can't even believe how many spiders. She was like, there were? I go, yeah. They were in the mattress, they were in the tubing on the bed, the whole bed was filled with spiders. And here's what I did. I got them all out. I took all the spiders out. No more spiders are in your bed. And she's like, oh my gosh, Daddy, that's amazing, thank you. I said, I did, however, take the spiders and spray them all on the floor around your bed, and I put a bunch of them on the hallway down towards my room. So what I'm saying is, if you stay in your bed tonight, you'll probably survive it. But if you get out of that bed, I don't think I can help you. And she slept in her own bed that night. It was pretty great. Mom, good or bad?
The closet is the bad thing in our house.
The closet's the bad thing. So you put the kid in the closet? Get in the closet with your velociraptor. What's the bad thing? The closet? Oh, she sees things in the closet in the dark?
Yeah, my son says that if I get rid of the closet, he'll stay in his room.
So in order to fix this problem, you just have to bring in a contractor.
Any contractors in the house?
We got a monster situation.
Years from now, you go to sell the house and they open the closet door and it's just a brick wall. And you're like, don't even ask. It went wrong. My daughter was afraid of the dark, and I said, actually, I told her, I never told this either. I used to tell her, I go, you kid, the dark's the greatest. Monsters can't see you in the dark. She goes, well, I go, yeah. If there's light on, because she always wanted the light on from the hall, I go, if there's light on and you're asleep, monsters are going to get you. And she goes, well, I said, yeah, the trick is, if the whole room, you said the same thing, if the room's dark, the monsters can't find you. I'm just saying that.
Take a break.
I'm just trying to help kids out, man. Preparing for the world. We coddle them too much, shouldn't we? We should terrify children because we're coddling them too much and they're walking out into the real world and they're getting jobs. And when the boss tells them to do something, they go, why should I have to do that? My parents took care of everything for me. I'm so confused. Wait, do I need to get a participation trophy for working here at McDonald's? I'm old now. Get off my lawn! That's what I'm saying. Don't you guys feel that way, though? This generation, we're doomed. All right, have fun.
Drink company.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. So, speaking of animal attacks, we were doing, right before COVID hit, we were doing renovations on our house, and the contractor left a hole between the attic and our downstairs while he was working. And we had one of those really fun December days where it turned 70 degrees. And I got up early that day before work, and I went out to take the dogs out, and I was really just dragging that day and came back in. And I was like, oh, I could really use 15 more minutes. So I left the door open to the room, and I came back in, I set the Alexa, and I'm like, just 15 minutes, Alexa. Just give me 15 minutes. And I lay back in bed, and I was out from, not even out, like I was just settling in. And it was like 5 minutes in, and my wife starts. Listen! Listen! Do you hear that? Well, no, honey, I'm asleep. And Alexa is the only voice I really, I only want to hear her voice, but that's the only one I'm going to respond to right now. And she's like, don't you hear that? There's a squeaking. And I go, no, it's fine. It's probably the mattress, and I had Taco Bell last night. And then all of a sudden I started to hear it. And this weird clicking sound. And I'm like, okay, she might not actually be crazy. It's not the tacos. What is that? She's like, hey, what, you did hear it. It's close to you. And I was like, yeah, I know that, but I don't know what it is. So I sat up, and then it's really a very angry sound. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but it's not happy. And she's like, get out of the bed and look around. Okay. And I start to move, and from underneath my left butt cheek, was Batman, Batwing. And I looked at my wife and I said, we have a problem. Actually, we have two. Number one, there's a bat under my ass. And number two, I'm very, very thin and I have shorts. So what I'm going to need you to do is help me. Should I call the cops? Yes, get Officer Cooper down here. Let him handle it. I feel like that's the best way. And at that point, I had also forgotten that that night, our eldest child had crawled into bed with us. And he sits up looking like he had just gone off of a weekend bender. That's what was going on. Well, Daddy's sitting on somebody who I don't consider a friend. And Mommy has yet to call law enforcement. And I look and I was like, honey, grab Jace's pillow pads and I'll move and I'll try to catch him. And my wife, who is supposed to be the protector of our children, did not grab the pillow pad. She ran out of the room. And you'd think that maybe she grabbed the child. Nope. She did not grab the child. Also, by the way, do you think the bat's real happy with me right now? Because we're still sitting on him. And he's just laughing. And I'm going to be honest, I am a nervous farter, so. To be honest, I'm a little nervous. And I'm like, honey, what am I supposed to, I need you to get the pillow pads. Have Jace do it. Jace, I'm going to need you to get the pillow pads. Okay, Dad? And he hands them to me. I'm like, on the count of 3, you run to the door. You get out of here safely, and Daddy will take the brunt of this. Also, by this time, my wife may have actually called the cops, so I jump up, and the bat also chose that moment to make his movement. He's flying around like he just partied with Keith Richards. And he's flying around. My son sees it. He didn't understand what was happening. He's like, flying mouse! And he freezes. And I managed to symbol it between these 2 pillow pads. And I'm like, honey, open the door. Why? I don't know, I thought the bat could move in, the 3 of us, Jason, him, and I were together. We have a new pet. So, honey, open the door. Do you have him? I do, he's secure, just open the door. You're sure you have him? And then she flings open the door and I go running outside. And then I didn't know that I'm supposed to keep it. Like when we called the CDC, they're like, did you keep the bat? For what? He looked like he had a problem and that he was not okay, he just needed to walk it off. Like that guy, he's not going back to the bat cave and he's not okay. No. And so I find out that on Christmas Day, this was Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas to my buttocks. That my whole family, because we didn't know exactly when he got in there, anybody who was in the room with us had to get rabies shots. So that's the gift that keeps on giving. My son, not a big fan of the rabies shots, and that was our Christmas that year, just absolutely. Oh, by the way, the doctor took pictures of my ass, and the bat actually had bitten me. But I also am concerned because, well, I don't know why he used his personal cell phone to take the thing.
It's on some fetish website right now.
10 million views.
AskThatButts.com. Some guy's watching you right now. So you were laying on a bat under your buttock. You didn't feel it.
I know, but over the years, my ass has taken around here.
Does it have hurt?
I immediately regret that choice.
So does your 6th grade teacher. Yeah, sorry I hear that now. Well, sir. Didn't feel the bat. And by the way, maybe it wasn't Batman, maybe it was a vampire. Maybe you were a vampire now.
No, I sleep though.
So yeah, that makes sense. What was the rabies shot? Was it a big giant needle?
Yes, it's also based on weight, and as you can see, I enjoy me a sandwich from time to time.
So was it the size of a pool cue?
Yeah. Like a samurai sword.
Your son had to have a rabies shot.
4 sets of 4 shots, yeah.
4 sets of 4 shots.
Correct.
That's 16. And just finished 2nd grade. 16 shots you had to have.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
In the arm though, not the stomach like they tell you.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I wondered if it was in the stomach.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Interesting. And how did your son deal with that? Was he okay?
He hates needles.
He hates you. Does he hate bats?
He also yes.
Why did your wife have to do it?
Yes. And she was
Why, just because you were in the room
with the twins. Which might be what's wrong with it.
Let's go to our mom. Hey, let's deal with bats and rabies. What's happening? The other people didn't get bit. Why did they need rabies shots?
No idea.
I've never heard a woman say that. Honestly, made the whole trip worthwhile. Just to hear that going on. That was too much fantastic. Thank you. My wife is the same, where she's always like, my wife, she has anxiety, I would say. I don't think she's alone in this world, but she's always like, what is that? What was that sound? Did you hear that in the backyard? One night she was certain there was like an axe-wielding maniac in the backyard, right? And she's like, go out and check it out. No. Oh, my father would. He would go out there. If I heard that one more time, my father, who's like, and then a week later, he's like, my dad's an idiot. But in the moment, she uses whatever she wants in that moment. She's like, my father, he would have gone out right now. And I go, well, he's an idiot because we're behind a locked door. I'm in moccasin slippers with no weapon. Why would I walk out? Are you a lunatic? I'm not going out there. Huge fight. Not going out. She wanted me. I go, what's the point if I go out there? He's going to kill me. What are you doing? Stay in the house. What do you think about that?
I never know what to do with you actually.
Well, your wife's here, so I mean, you're on. Everything you say is going to be
I've
later.
already told her my ass takes a time, so I might stop this.
I mean, after Ask Tommy, we should have really just closed the show and walked out. I feel like nothing's going to top that joke. I'm going to tell you a story called Claire and the Missing Headphones that took up about 4 hours of one of my days. And no, really? Did you say really? Oh, is that Lily? Is that your child?
That's my job.
That's your child? Lily? How old is she?
16 now.
I'm sorry I said she. Lily could be a boy. I mean, in this world, right? Doesn't matter anymore. You can be... She... How old is she?
16.
16. I'm not even there yet. But at my age, you know, luckily, now when people go, hey, what are you going to do for the kids' college plan? I go, that's my wife's second husband's problem. I'm going to need her for that. An 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. Who lucky if I see 12. I don't know.
I'm not sure I'm going to make it to the end of the show.
Trust me, this show's never ending. This is super fun. So Claire, I had a homeschool. She did her first entire year on kindergarten on a Zoom, on a little Zoom. I don't know. Anyone else? Horrible, right? So painful. So painful. Every day was painful. But I tried to be like the good dad. I like printed out little schedules and I made them like wear their little school uniforms, little Catholic school uniforms, and then I got them a desk and I set her up. And she had her iPad and her little headphones, and they both were like doing school. You know, I got them up, I got them ready. It was crazy morning. I'm in the kitchen, like trying to clean because I was out of work. I'm an actor and a comic. I didn't work for like 18 months, and my wife worked. Luckily, her job wasn't affected. So many families were decimated by this insanity. But luckily, she was working, so I took care of the kids. And so every day was just, you know, a nightmare. And then, truly a nightmare. It was truly a nightmare. I think for everybody, it was just, that's why this is so good. It's so good. It's been a long time, man. So thank you guys for being part of this. It's super fun. So she, all of a sudden, I'm in the kitchen doing something, and I hear Claire's entire class, kindergarten class, on the Zoom. Which I don't know if you've heard an entire kindergarten. By the way, teachers, they are grossly underpaid. They should be billionaires. Like a kindergarten teacher should make way more money than Jeff Bezos. Yeah, he had a great idea, but he should be a jillionaire off of that. You know who should? The woman who has to take care of like 35 kids who are talking simultaneously. That's the woman. She should be a jillionaire. She earned every penny of it. So I hear everything. It sounds like it's like an audition for the musical Oliver, and every kid simultaneously is auditioning using just gibberish. I'm like, bah, 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 bah. So I peek around the corner, I'm like, Claire, put your headphones, baby, put your headphones on. And she looks up, and she doesn't have headphones on, and they're not anywhere near her, and she's like, I don't know where they are. What? What are you talking about? You had them on your head, I walked out, I'm peeking back in, they're gone. Where are they? She goes, I don't know. What? I go, we've got to find them. I'm not listening to this all day. I hang myself. I'm not going to make it here. This is a train wreck of epic proportions, mine. It was barely tolerable when you had the headphones on. Now, I'm thinking about faking my death and moving to Bali. I'm really hanging on by a thread here, dude. Put your headphones on. So she goes, I don't know where they are. I go, well, we really got to find them. So we start looking around her desk, and all of a sudden she's like, yeah, I'll help. Hey, well, they're your headphones. They were here 30 seconds ago. You're going to help. She goes, well, I'll look under the couch. And so she looks under the couch. I look around the table. I can't find anywhere. So the search begins. We start searching for these headphones. They were there. They were just there. A minute ago. They're gone. And with kids, there's no logic. You have to look everywhere because there's no logic with children, right? My kids are terrified of monsters, imaginary monsters that live under their bed, but they'll just sprint right into traffic. They're afraid of the wrong things, right? If 2 food groups on their plate touch, absolute meltdown. If a dude in a van offers them candy, they're gone. Those kids are gone. So I'm searching everywhere. You know, I'm looking on the roof. I looked in the dryer. We searched for like 90 minutes. I'm looking around the house, losing my mind. Like, where are the headphones? So I finally go, look, Claire, just go. They were at your desk. They were there. Let's go back to the desk. And she goes, okay. And she's looking with me. She's going through her toy bin or whatever we get back. And I said, all right, well, they were here, right? All right, I'm going to look under the couch. She goes, they're not under the couch! What? They're not under the couch, Dad! Thou doth protest too much. So I go, I'll look anyway. Thanks, Claire. I'm going to take a gander. And so I go to look under the couch, and she hurls her little 45-pound body in front of me to block me. And she's like, they're not under the couch. And so I picked her up, and I go, I'm gonna look, and I put her up. She's out of her weight class. I'm like 4 times her body weight. I go, put her down, and all of a sudden, before I can even look at her the couch, she starts sobbing, I thought you were gonna be mad! I thought you were gonna be mad! Tears streaming down her face. I don't even know what's happened, but I'm like, you're probably right. I feel like I'm about to be furious, but I don't even know why yet. But just by the way you're talking, I'm pretty sure anger is in my future. Let's find out. So I go and I look under the couch, and she is sobbing. And I pulled them out. She cut the cord. Actually, I forgot to tell you something. Claire got a new pair of scissors that morning. I should have known it. I looked at her desk. Everything had cuts in it. Every book, everything had cuts. She cut the cord to her headphones. She was sitting there on kindergarten cutting things, saw the cord, was like, yeah, and cut the cord to her headphones. That didn't work anymore. So she took them off and hid them under the couch and then went back to the iPad. Like a lunatic. By the way, kind of a sociopath if you think about it. And here's the deal, I'm not even really mad about the headphone cutting. I'm mad at the 2-hour search that she went with me and acted like, yeah, let's look in the bedroom. They're not in the toy bin. You know where they are. You're a psychopath at this point. I mean, let's face it, she's a grown man. I punch her right in the face. You know that, Mom? You get it? Pound in the face. That's a terrible thing to do. She just wasted 2 hours of my life looking for these things. I'm furious. I'm so crazy angry, but you saw her. I'm like, it's okay, and I pick her up. It's just like, you be mad at me? And I'm like, I'm not mad. Lying through my teeth. I'm so angry. I'm angry for the time I had to do, but I'm also angry because guess what? After school, I got to get into a car during the quarantine, drive to Target, and get her a new set of headphones so I can get through the day tomorrow. So we get to Target, I'm pissed, and I'm like steaming through, and I get some headphones in the back, and I put them in, and she's in the cart with the other one, and I'm flying back to the register to pay for it and get out of there as quick as humanly possible. And here's how illogical children are. She knows why we're there. She knows I'm furious. As we pass the toy section, Daddy, can we get a toy? Now I'm mad. Now I'm really mad. And then I bought her a toy because she's really cute. A terrible parent.
Speaking of Walmart and Target stores, how much do we hate going to stores with our children that have toys? How many of you have kids in the 5 to 7-year-old age?
How many want one?
Are they all mentally ill? Yeah. My oldest, his name is Jason, he's 5 years old. It's like living with a tiny drunken pirate and who has no filter. You ever look at your kid in the eyes, and then when you wake up in the day, you look straight into their soul, and you know that no matter what you do that day, you could take them to Disneyland on that day, and no matter what you do, that child is going to ruin your day. And they're kind of happy about it. They kind of love it. I'm going to say my wife has already seen this side of the child. I had been at work, and I came home, and she's like, I need you to go to Walmart. And I need you to take the oldest one with you. Okay. So we go. And I looked at him like, we're in that place today. We get inside, and my wife had a very specific grocery list. And as soon as we get inside, he utters the words, can we go to the toy aisle? And I know, because I've seen what's coming, that if I answer that question now, I'm going to have a very bad day inside this store. So I choose to pretend that I don't know what he said. And he does not accept that answer. And he starts belting it out. Can we go, 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 can we go? Can we go, can we go? You know what? Here's the thing. We really got to get the produce, because Mom really needed the cucumbers. So let's do that, and we'll talk about what else we got to get. and he does not like my answer. And I see it, and you ever look at it when they're in that mode, you watch them and they start to do that dance, like there's a Michael Jackson song in their head that only they can hear. And he skittles up behind me while I'm picking out cucumbers, and this is just what he's doing. And then he strikes, and he stands directly behind me, grabs the back of my pants, and now, I enjoy spankings, I really do, and I'm going to be honest, great Frank. Here's my problem. In his grabbing of the back of the pants, he also has grabbed my underpants. And here I am, in all my glory, hanging out over the cucumber. Comparatively, not doing me any favors. Because I don't know if you know this, it's chilly in the produce section. Yeah. And at this point, I look, and this little old woman has decided, you know when the best time to start a conversation with somebody is? When he's pantsless in the Walmart. And I see her hobbling up in her little walker. And she goes, looks like you have your hands full. The irony of what she said was not lost on me because I have anything but a handful right now. I got maybe a tweezer full. And I am furious. I pull my pants back up. I grab the child literally by the back. I'm carrying like a suitcase. And I'm trying to calm down before we get out to the van, and I make a horrible decision like, dropping him off at a random orphanage. But that child, he is, well, the youngest one is the one that's going to kill me. The other one is the one that has aged me by 10 years. Another time, so my wife had a doctor's appointment, and my wife and I have an agreement where if the child has to come with us, she will go into the appointment solo, because he's just evil. I mean, he really is. And so on this day, we're sitting there, and he's in another mood, and I'm tolerating it. I've got Bluey on the iPad. We're good. And then all of a sudden, this young girl, pretty, but mid-20s, comes in, and I see her look around the waiting room, and I make eye contact with her. I'm like, I'm going to tell you right now, this seat next to him that's open is not where you want to sit. I mean, there's the creepy guy across, you have a better shot with him. And she does not heed my look. She sits down next to him. And I happen to look over, and I notice on her neck are a bunch of love mementos. Hickeys, if you will. Unfortunately, my child also noticed. And before I can get my hands over to shush him, he looks at her and he goes, "Hey, did the dog bite your face?" "My dog never bites my face. Why did the dog bite your face? You eat your dog, if you hit your dog, why you hit your dog?" He sure did bite you a lot. And she does not answer him. And what do we learn from the Walmart stories? We don't ignore him. And I looked and I'm like, you know what? That's on her, because I made it very clear that sitting there was not a good idea. So, should I as a parent have stopped him? Yeah. Did I? No. And I see his little finger going like E.T. straight towards the hickey. And he reaches back and he poked it. Wait, because not only did he poke it, when he said it, when he did it, he also spoke it. So he goes, "Oh." And that must have been so fun to him that he starts going in rapid fire. And he ends up sounding like a prize wheel on Price is Right. The girl loses it. She stands up and she runs out. I'm not even sure she came back for her appointment. But probably his crowning achievement. Oh boy.
There we go.
We had a routine checkup at the pediatrician. And our pediatrician is a wonderful woman. She's very knowledgeable. She's super smart. She knows, I mean, and above all, she's patient. And I don't know if you got this from this, with my children, you need to be patient. And she comes in, and Jason's, you know, he's doing his Michael Jackson. And she leans in and she says, "Oh, hello, Chase. How are you doing today?" Simple question, right? My child looks my pediatrician directly in the eye and says, "Last night Mom dressed up as Catwoman and she sat on Dad's chest and she was scratching him and then she went, meow." So I do the only thing that I can think of this time to do, and I turn and start just reading the eye chart. A, Q, still. Hey, here's a really interesting pair. I think I put on Lyme disease. I should probably catch up on it. And the only thing in my head I'm thinking is not two things. Number one, I'm really going to need to get a lock for the door to the bat cave. And number two, at 5, I get it. Like, if you snuck in undetected to your parents' bedroom, and in there, instead of your parents, is Batman in a very precarious situation, Catwoman seems to have the upper hand. I'm probably going to hang around and see how this turns out. Guarantee it did not turn out how the child thought it was going to. Because that's how he got brothers. I can't do this anymore.
All you could envision was when, like, as she's scratching you, you just hold up a sign that says "pow." I don't know why.
That's what the power
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry, your teacher's here. You know, I love the kids' honesties. Don't you love it when kids say stuff like that?
No!
We should all be that honest. I kind of am, to be honest with you. Usually when I go to a party, my wife just turns to me and goes, "Keep your mouth shut. Nobody wants to hear your stupid stories. Nobody cares. Shut it." And then when my album came out this week, she was like, "Oh, what's a funny story?" I go, "Yeah!" And then she was like, "Nobody wants to hear it at the party." I love kids and their honesty. I love that. What was the best thing that happened over the last 18 months of this insane quarantine? Did anyone have any good things happen? That's about right. Can I tell you? This happened. You know, we met yesterday in person. So virtually, we've been doing a show for like 6 months. We met online. We met online. Here we go. He got his ass pounded, and then if you don't think that's going to be a t-shirt by the end of tonight, I'm pretty sure somebody's printing a copy. Jason's ass got pounded. It's out in the lobby for sale. Enjoy. This happened. So good. Any good stuff happened during the pandemic for anybody?
No!
No. I can tell you one thing that happened that I thought was the greatest thing ever, and I hope it continues. COVID birthday parties for children. Anybody? Did you go to any of them? When you literally just drove by, the two wives commiserated, you like parade line. Did anyone do this? Anyone know what a COVID birthday party is? For those of you who don't know, it's a party where you couldn't have a party, so everyone lined up in their cars at 1 p.m. You pull up, wait, pull up, finally you get up there, and then the two wives are like, "Hey, everything's great," and the two husbands would be like, "How's it going?" "It's terrible, man. I really don't think I'm gonna make it. No, me either. I'm in hell. Looks like the line's backing up. Take care. See ya." And then we drive away. And you throw a present out the window. We went to so many, I just got a t-shirt gun so I could shoot it. Boom! Don't forget your present. Boom! Were they great? Did everyone? It used to be like before the pandemic happened, you're like, "How was your weekend?" I have 2 kids. I went to 15 birthday parties. It took like 36 hours of the weekend. It was painful. My wife would make us, the party starts at 11. She's like, "We gotta be there at 11. No, we don't. Then I cut the cake for an hour and a half, show up right before the cake gets cut, just act out of breath and say, "You're not going to believe what happened. We had an emergency room. You're lucky we're here." And that's it. But she makes us go. We're there for hours at these birthday parties. It's hell. And by the way, can we use the pandemic to reset the bar on kids' birthday parties?
Yes.
Right? How much money do we need to spend on these kids' birthday parties? It's gruesome, right? The amount of toys and crap, and I don't know about you guys. Every party I go to, they're spending tons of money on the kids. No money on the parents, right? What do we get like frozen pizza and like John's water. You know, like some bottled water where you're like, is this even drinkable? What is this? Or they try to put out that one vegetable plate that has broccoli that bends with a white film on it, where you're like, what did you do? This is terrible. And then for the kids, oh my gosh, there's a chocolate river with gondola rides and a Disney princess, JoJo Siwa impersonator. Could have been JoJo Siwa. I went to one party, there was a unicorn. I'm the only parent. I said, and the other parents were like, I go, I'm riding that unicorn. They were go, what? And they made me wear they just basically have a white horse and they made me wear a helmet. I took a stroll around the dude's driveway. They made me wear a helmet and I was like, that's put it on because I didn't know. I was like, what if that is a unicorn? He starts to fly. And I fall off, you know. All the other parents hated me. They're like, what are you doing? I go, dude, I've never been on a unicorn before, so I rode the unicorn. But we're spending all this money on the kids. We're not even going to remember the party, and they spend no money on us. We have to stop that, right? We shouldn't spend any money on the kids. They're lucky we're taking care of them. And instead spend all the money on the parents. That's how you get me on your invite list. For the kids, just throw out a bunch of boxes, some bubble wrap, some of your dollar kitchen utensils. They'll be happy as a clam. How about some empty toilet paper roll holders, some glitter glue, and a wig from Goodwill, greatest day of their lives. And then spend all the money on a gourmet lunch. Have a casino night. Pony rides, how about limo rides to and from your party so I can do some real damage at that wine tasting you're going to throw. Actually, they shouldn't even be in the same location. The kids should have a different, locked in a house where you just throw some pillows and some flashlights and call it a fort party. And then have, just a bunch of adults having some crazy party where it's like, how about someone to wash my car? How about a tax consultant? How about a masseuse? Boom! No? Nobody else is on board with that? I think that would be a fantastic idea. It's tough to top the unicorn. That's pretty funny. My wife was like, it was one of those parties, I go, I'm riding that unicorn. My wife's like, please don't ride that unicorn. Nobody wants to hear your stories or see you on a unicorn. Please don't ride that. I said, I'm riding that unicorn. I really don't. Because otherwise, here's the deal. If we don't continue to if we don't start spending money on the parents of these birthday parties, I'm going to continue the COVID birthday party. For 10 years from now, I'll pull up in front of some dude's house and start honking my horn and we'll all come out and go, Jamie, the pandemic's been over for a decade. Better safe than sorry, my brother. Here's your present. Boom!
I could actually use a t-shirt gun for this next bit.
Actually, we gotta get one.
What?
We gotta get a t-shirt gun.
Yes. I can build it.
Okay.
Oh, we're done? Come on.
All right, let's go. We should have done some t-shirts. I should see some t-shirts out in the middle of the show. That'd be fantastic.
Now you can. So,
Next show.
early on, when my wife and I got together, we had a small issue with childcare. On the day that we both had to work, our babysitter called in sick. And unfortunately, all family members were busy or have met our children and just didn't want to do it. And my wife and I are stuck. And my job pre-pandemic, before this started, I was a process server for the Supreme Court in New York State. And I actually recognize some of you from when I served you. It's not personal.
Those are the ones that aren't laughing. Bad memories. The guy with his arm crossed. I remember that shit, yes.
I only had 9 that day, and I looked at them. I'm like, all right, well, these are mostly credit card debt. Where weird thing with a sheet? I don't know. Nobody punched the cop, nobody drove a car through the front of the subway. That actually happened, like I hadn't served that person. And I look, I'm like, no, I feel like this is a really light load. And I looked at my wife and I said, what if neither of us call in and I just take him with me today? Because these are all civil papers that I don't expect, full-on gunfire. We put a flak vest on him, I think we'll be fine. And she's like, I don't know. Well, we don't have a lot of options, so I'm gonna do it. And she's like, okay. So the first 8 of them went very, very well. No issues. The last one out in the middle of nowhere, out in deposit, was a farm. And it was a beautiful farm. I was like, I looked at the paper, I'm like, oh, she just got a little crazy with the Kohl's card. I feel like this is gonna be, these seem like nice folk, this is a beautiful place. Not a big deal. So I parked the car, and the house is at the top, and I'm walking up, and the service goes very well, she was very pleasant, she accepted it. And I'm like, okay, we're done. And I start walking back down, and as I said, this was a farm, and it was one of those free-range farms, good for them. And I said, there's pigs, and chickens, ducks, and turkeys. And as I'm walking, I hear behind me a turkey call, but it's different than the other ones. Like, he sounded very similar to the bat from earlier, actually. And he was very angry. And, and I turned, and I see him just smug walking down the day. I'm like, well, where? I didn't see him before. Why is he picking up speed? Wait a minute, yeah, I think he's heading this direction. Oh, now he's running. And he came straight at me, and I'm like, I think I need to run. I start to run, and he gets behind me, and he starts pecking my back. And I did the only thing I thought about at that time, and I turned and I punched him in his stupid turkey face. Can I tell you something? He didn't like it. He didn't like it at all. He's very upset, and and he comes running, and now he's flying in the air, and he's using the talons, and I'm like, oh, this is not okay. And in my head, I'm like, I gotta get him back to the car. What if he gets to the car before me and he gets the chase? He can't open the door, idiot. And this is the person that my wife has left in charge of the child. And he knocks me down in the mud. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like Jurassic Park where that guy gets taken out while he's trying to escape. So this is I knew it was going to be like
They look like it, Vanessa.
But very similar, but there was more neck flapping. Yeah, there you go. And he's jumping on me, and he's just, so I turned, and I only had my clipboard left, and I just slapped him across his body, and then I got my legs underneath him, and I kicked him straight up in the air like a beach ball. And I run, and I get to the car, and I throw open the door, and he is already back at me, and I look at him, I can see in the back seat, and Jace is laughing hysterically, and he's probably attacked. We can't come out. We just can't come out. So I managed to turn around, and the only thing I have left is just papers, which I've got like bunched up, and I'm just and I push him out, and I get in the car, I slam the door, and he is already back at the window, but he's pecking at it. And so I'm not proud of this, but I started talking shit to him. Hey pal, I had your wife for Thanksgiving last year. She was delicious. Delicious. So he jumps down to go to the car. I'm like, wow, this escalated quickly. And I put the car into gear, and he literally tumbles off, and he hits the mailbox. And I drove off. I get home that day, and my wife said, how'd it go today? I'm like, without incident.
I mean, what if you really did eat his wife? What if, I mean, if somewhere maybe the turkey's telling the story right now, couldn't believe it. I was there at my house, and this dude shows up. He's the guy who killed and ate my wife. And I tried to attack him, and he punched me. Yeah, it's a menace. You have some animal issues.
Here's the thing, yeah.
You're like an anti-Dr. Doolittle. Instead of like you can talk to him, like they all want to kill you. Did you get more rabies shots after the turkey fight?
What?
Did more rabies shots after the turkey fight?
I probably should have.
A little bit. You guys got a dog, right? Since we're talking about animals.
Yeah.
You got a dog during that quarantine. Everybody? Two of them. Good for you. I love that. I love it. A lot of people went and adopted dogs. I think it's great. I honestly it was super. We had a dog. We had a dog before, but we have a Puggle. Anyone know Puggles? Max is his name. So it was my wife's dog, so we got the house and we get him in the house. But here's the deal, I don't like dogs sleeping in my bed. I don't like dogs in my bedroom. Do you guys let your dog, it's always women, you guys let your dog sleep in your bed?
Yes.
No, right? Yes, you let your dog sleep in your bed? It's so, I don't know if you know this about dogs, they don't wear underpants. Do you know that? They don't have underwear on their lower carriage, so when you're like, hey, come on up on the bed, and the dog gets on the bed, and then he lays on your pillow like this. And then if they took the tail and came under and blocked some stuff, that might be one thing. You're like, oh, maybe. But the tail usually goes up, and then it's like they brand your pillow. Right? And then you're like, sleepy boy, something smells weird. What is that? Never mind. I don't like that. And I think now you're going to think about it every time that dog climbs on your bed. And like, why are there brown rings on my pillow? What happened here? So I wanted to train him. So anybody watch Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer?
Yes.
He's the best. So he teaches you to be alpha male, right? So you got to train the dog. So here's what I did. Every time the dog was in the rest of the house, I was like, who's a good boy? Here's a treat. What's my catch? And I clubbed him and hugged him and everything. And then anytime he went into my bedroom, I grabbed him, flipped him over on his back, held him down, and went, you don't belong in here! You don't belong in here! He's a puggle with these bulging eyes. He's like, what is happening? And I jumped off him, and then he would go into the other room, and I go, who's a good boy? You're a good boy. He was like, that guy's Jekyll and Hyde. What's happening? He wasn't figuring out. It took him days, like a few days later. He really wasn't going into my room anymore. He's like, I don't know what's in that room, but nothing good happens in that room. It's like the closet.
I'm flying back to the register to pay for it and get out of there as quick.
The kid's closet. So I'm doing it. And so I'm super proud of myself. I'm training that dog. He knows better. It's like the electric fence, but instead I'm using a different method. And so finally, the third day, he hasn't gone in a while, but all of a sudden he goes in the room, I go, all right, we gotta do it again. So I flip him over and I go, you don't belong in here! But I must have scared him a little too much, and I think he may have drank a lot of water right before that. And I don't know if you know what dog's penis is, but they're at like a 45-degree angle. Right there, which is, you can see the math of it. I was holding him, his penis was there. The target was a perfect triangle right here. And so when I flipped him over, I was like, you don't belong in here! And he started to pee, and just I was like, you don't belong! Right in my mouth, pee in my mouth. Straight stream. Mind blown. Didn't touch my face. Right in the mouth. Straight shot. Like if he was at that carnival game with the clown mouth and the balloon blowing up, he'd kill it. He would kill that game. He'd win every time. Right in the mouth. Dog urine. Straight stream. And so I jump off. I'm like, oh my God. And he jumped up. And he stood across from me. We just stared at each other. And he knew something was happening. And I was like, but I can't get, I'm not mad at him. You know, I'm mad at Caesar Milan. Really, it's not the dog's fault at all. I didn't blame him. But, you know, I wish I could have peed in Caesar Milan's mouth. That's what I would really like to make me feel way better. So the dog, we had this long thing where we just stared at each other, and I was like, well, that happened. And, I mean, now that room's his. Now he knows that. He definitely marked his territory. My mouth is his, apparently. He owns my mouth. I would go walking with him, and I'd walk him around the block, and there was always this unspoken issue between the two of us. And he would like nestle with it. He'd see another dog, and they'd have a moment where they'd like, sniff each other, have a little chat, and then oddly they'd both look up at me. And I just know he was like, I peed in that dude's mouth. That's about it.
I don't know where to go from that.
By the way, we're pretty much done. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Does anybody have any questions or anything? We like to do some parenting questions because we're both such professionals at parenting, as you can tell. Are you kidding? I'll come every weekend if I can get away from my children. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Just keep an open room for me at the hotel, and I will. I would love to come back as often as possible. I had so much fun. I grew up actually in Hooksett, New Hampshire. I'm from, and this is bringing me back. I just performed there last weekend, and I love it here. I have to be in LA for what I do for a living, but I love, small town, and those were super fun.
Dude, we have a birthday we have to do.
Oh, we haven't done birthdays.
Yeah.
I probably should have done it at the top, not the end.
Natasha Weatherby, where are you at today? Oh, yeah. We were let in that it might be your birthday.
It's his
Happy birthday!
I mean, there are like 300 people here. The odds are, out of 365 days. That's pretty good. There's gonna be a couple birthdays here. I love when you talk to people and they'll be like, oh my God, your birthday's September 14th. That's crazy. Mine's the 14th of October. It's crazy. We're almost. What are the odds? Yeah, the 1 in 365. It's exactly. I know the odds. Exactly. It's my birthday. Happy birthday. Glass of wine on us. Oh, it's closed. Sorry, the booth is closed.
Thank God, because he's been charging drinks to my credit card all weekend.
But it's okay, because I only drank like 75 drinks last night. It wasn't that big of a deal. I want to thank all the sponsors we had, Journey Fitness and all the other people. And honestly, I want to thank Matt. Did Matt come back in, Matt and Lewis? The radio?
No,
I guess
he's
not.
not, but we're here.
Yeah, he's from Choice 102.
I want to thank Choice 102 because we did our morning radio. We called in and it was so much fun.
Let's give him a big round.
Yeah, honestly. The station's great, and we love Matt, and he kept bringing us on. I think the first time he didn't really want to have us on, and we all kind of bonded over parenthood. And that is the one thing about being a parent. Like, somebody was like, why would you have kids at 50? Because the problem was, when I was 49, I was a single dude. Then you're that creepy guy. That's what happens. It's like you kind of have kids legitimate to go like, hey, I'm not a weirdo. And here's the other thing, at 49, the only other people who I hung out with who didn't have kids were really creepy. I remember I was doing a gig, I was like mid-40s, and I went back to my hometown in Hooksett, New Hampshire, and I drove around the back of my, where I grew up, the school I went to as a little kid. And I just, you sit there and you think about your childhood, and I learned such a valuable lesson. And that lesson is that single dudes in rental cars with leather jackets aren't really allowed behind grammar schools.
You don't get a lot of Chuck E. Cheese either, right?
No, again, there's some cities I have to go and like knock on doors and go, hey, I'm here, Jamie, I'm going to be here at 500 yards for a couple days. So but now I have kids, so I can be as creepy as I want, and everyone's like, he's all right, he's a dad. It is funny how like dads we kind of get away with murder. You were talking earlier about the store, right? Like people, like if they see a mom and the kid's totally misbehaving, they're always like, ugh, that mother can't control her children. But if it's a dad and the kids are totally out of control, they go, look at him, he's doing his best, right? It's such a double standard. It's such a double standard.
I wasn't even wearing pants at Walmart.
Yeah, by the way, you should know better. You gotta get tighter underpants, man. I have like a locking mechanism and then I duct tape it on.
To be honest, it wasn't the first thing on my mind to happen that day.
No, nothing's on your mind. I mean, every day you're like, what happened? Kids happen, and then it's a train wreck of epic proportion. Anybody else want to know anything? Thank you guys. And that radio station's awesome, by the
Yeah,
way.
fantastic.
Rob.
Thank you guys so much.
Cool.
Also, thanks to Danny Minimar and Century 21 Jackson Real Estate. You guys, without that, this wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah, they all chipped in so you guys can have this amazing community experience. And
Also, big round of applause for the crew of the Sayre Theatre for making, the friends of the Sayre Theatre for making this happen. This is the first live event that they've had since lockdown, and
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun tonight.
Me too, man. Me too. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Super fun. It is crazy, you know, everyone's, even my kids, everyone's online. You'll see like 4 kids sitting next to each other and they're texting each other. They don't talk. And it's like people go, oh, I have all these friends online. And it's like, do you know anybody who lives on your street? You know what I mean? Like, it's such a weird world. So when I come here and I see all these people and everybody knows each other and everybody's such a community, it kind of warms my heart. And I think it's a great place to kind of raise kids and bring them up in that kind of community. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much. And also, every Tuesday night live, the Parents Night podcast. And thank you guys very much. Have a good night.